In the north of Rio, this colonial house is a place of worship for Umbanda, an Afro-Brazilian religion. On Saturday morning, Fernanda Franco, the temple's religious leader, gathered her followers to assess the damage.
We're going to put everything we want to keep in front of a house, so we'll be organised when Valori arrives.
A few days earlier, this place of worship was invaded and ransacked.
Okay, so today we're going to Brazil. Specifically this video, we're going to be covering the rise of evangelical Christianity in Brazil and what it is doing to the local religions. Now, if you know anything about evangelicals or evangelicals, like I like to call them, they really like to impose their will on others. It is the same case, the evangelicals in America, it's like an exact copy that is happening now of evangelicals in Brazil. But the difference in Brazil is actually they're becoming violent. They're attacking the worship places of many of these Afro-Brazilians who worship their traditional religions because they say it is evil and all these things. Now, before we begin, please consider liking and subscribing so we can grow this channel. But let's continue with this video of this lady whose place of worship was just ambushed because she does not worship the traditional European version of God that they worship, evangelicals. Let's go.
This is our sacred space, which has been completely destroyed. These are objects sacred to the Exu deity, who has been demonized even though he has nothing to do with the devil. That's why this place was destroyed the most in the temple. There's nothing left here.
For her, this is not a simple act of vandalism because it's motivated by religious intolerance. The culprits left behind several objects as though it were their signature.
This is one of the two Bibles that was left here. It means that we're not welcome here, that they want to silence us, extinguish our history, everything we believe in. It's a message.
To protect her...
Sorry, like it's so silly. Can you imagine you're attacking a place and then you leave a Bible? Like that's a sign like, hey, I attacked you, even though the Bible says no violence, but I attacked you. Here's a Bible. You need to change my ways to my way. It is like, I don't know, the days of the crusade. It is so ridiculous that it's happening in 2025. But let's continue.
Her followers, she's decided to leave the premises. According to the Ministry of Human Rights, Brazil recorded an increase of almost 70% in cases of religious intolerance in 2024 compared to the year before. The main victims were religions of African origin such as Umbanda and Candomblé. According to studies, the main culprits are evangelical Christians.
At least 60% of my congregation need to be discreet about their religious choice, for fear of reprisals at work, because their boss is evangelical, or even within their own home. Some of my followers have evangelical parents who are unaware that their children practice Umbanda.
Intolerance is fueled by more aggressive branches of evangelical Christianity known as Pentecostal and Neo-Pentecostal churches. Their numbers have exploded in Brazil in recent years. There were 8 times more of them in 2021 than at the end of the 1990s. For Márcio de Jogum, a priest from the Afro-Brazilian religion Candomblé, the phenomenon is taking on the aspect of a holy war.
Since the 70s and 80s, neo-Pentecostal groups have become the protagonists of attacks and violence. It's a form of modern crusade. There is a desire to occupy a territory, as happened in the Middle Ages. There is a struggle for power, as in the Middle Ages. And there is an economic dispute.
Over the last 10 years or so, the priest has received many calls from his faithful who are being persecuted.
Hello, how are you doing?
Between 2008 and 2013, this man on the phone was threatened by the militia, the Rio Mafia. Even today, he prefers to remain anonymous for fear of reprisals.
Some of my faithful were threatened with large caliber weapons, which looked like AK-47 rifles, outside our place of worship. The militiamen came to threaten us during a service. They were armed and told us that we had a week to leave the premises.
Can you believe that basically this is like terrorism? Like they are terrorizing the people who worship Afro-Brazilian religions, that they are coming with guns, they are destroying their places of worship. Some have been told, destroy your own temple, your own place of worship at gunpoint. Like, it is so crazy what is happening with the evangelicals. And they are growing and they're growing. Like the woman said, they're afraid of even sharing. They have to do it in secret. I'm going to show you another video where they had to go worship in the forest, basically, because they're afraid of worshiping in public because they're going to be attacked by evangelicals. It's like it's like terrorism that is going on in Brazil. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
In your opinion, did the fundamentalist evangelicals in the region rely on the power of criminals to impose their religious domination?
Yes, that's exactly what they were doing through the church.
Which church?
It was a cell of the Universal Church.
What this man is describing is the new alliance between organized crime and certain evangelical Christians that's been sowing terror in Rio for the last 15 years. In these videos from 2017, religious leaders are forced to destroy their temples by evangelical traffickers.
Yeah, like that. This is the specific video I was talking about. Their guns pointed at them. They are being told, destroy your temple or else. Like, these these are just criminals hiding behind religion. Like, how can this be possible? And it was made worse by the Donald Trump of Brazil. What was his name? Bolsonaro. Yeah, Bolsonaro made it worse because he saw them the same way Trump saw evangelicals in America. He saw them as a base that he could easily use to get elected, and that's why it grew, and now it is becoming a serious threat to other religions, like other religious dominations. They cannot even worship in peace because of evangelicals. Like, man.
Se eu pegar de novo ou tentar construir esse caralho de novo, eu vou matar.
Nicknamed narco-Pentecostalism, this alliance between organized crime and evangelical Christianity has intensified in the favela complex of Israel, named after the Holy Land. One of Rio's most dangerous territories, it's dominated by the so-called Army of the Living God.
Like, it's what is this? Is this real life? Like, they call it in the favela, that's the hood. They call it the complex of Israel, and they are terrorizing others. Like, I don't want to make comments about that place, the name of that country, because I don't want to be permanently cancelled and lose my livelihood and everything. But it is stacking like it's wow. So the complex of Israel in Brazil, let me specify that so that YouTube doesn't, come for me, because you cannot mention certain countries. This complex in Brazil is terrorizing people with guns and everything. Like, this is, wow, this is ironic. Let's continue.
Criminals are under the influence of Álvaro Malaquias Santa Rosa, a drug baron who's converted to religion and says he takes his orders from God in his war against enemy factions and the police. He's expelled all practitioners of Afro-Brazilian religions and is the subject of 10 arrest warrants, including for homicide and torture. Victims seldom seek help from this specialized police station set up in Rio in 2018 to receive and investigate complaints.
I wouldn't say that it's more difficult for these victims to lodge a complaint, but there are far fewer complaints, perhaps because the victims are afraid. This doesn't just concern people from this type of locality, but the whole state of Rio, the whole country. People also don't file complaints because they don't understand what's going on. They think it's not a crime, or that there won't be any punishment anyway.
In March, during a police operation, the emblem of the Israel complex, a giant Star of David at the top of the favela, was removed. It's a symbolic action against evangelical drug trafficking, but far from sufficient to combat the religious intolerance that continues to spread throughout society.
Yeah, so that's the video. Like, it's so ridiculous. Let me show you another video of how it used to be. This was 2 years ago, before the election between Bolsonaro and what's his name, the new president of Brazil. And this is the Afro-Brazilians, how they even had to go worship in the forest. Just look for yourself. We're gonna watch just like 2-3 minutes of it, and then go to another video to see how these evangelicals recruit people in the favelas, in the slums of Brazil. Let's watch this video, and as you watch, please like and subscribe.
This is a candomblé ritual, a religion brought to Brazil by African slaves. It survived centuries of persecution and discrimination before gaining acceptance. But as October's presidential election approaches, many of its followers feel like they've become targets in a holy war.
Hostilities increase when you mix politics with religion. Our temples have been attacked by the growing number of radical evangelical Christians. It's a battle for souls, for power and for votes.
Protestant Christian evangelicals are Brazil's fastest growing religious group. They have become a strong force in politics and the media. The evangelicals include President Jair Bolsonaro's wife, Michele, and say they're defending the Bible and traditional family values.
Bolsonaro was chosen by God.
Followers of Afro-Brazilian...
Sorry, like, it's so stupid that you can't even believe it. Like, Bolsonaro was chosen by God. A politician telling you, okay, first of all, let me just say something. If a politician is telling you how to pray, run. If a preacher is telling you how to vote, run. Just stop whatever you're doing and get the hell out of that place, because there's something seriously wrong there and they are playing you like a fiddle. Let me repeat it again for the people in the back. If a politician is telling you how to pray to your God, run. If a preacher in your church is telling you how to vote, run. Let's continue.
Faiths say the evangelicals are also driving a culture of intolerance as the election approaches. The First Lady shared this video on social media. It shows Bolsonaro's main adversary, former President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, being blessed by a priestess, and compares him to a devil worshipper. Last year, Brazilian authorities received 586 complaints of religious intolerance, 141% more than in 2020. In 9 out of 10 cases, the targets were followers of Afro-Brazilian religions. This woman was forced at gunpoint to destroy her temple. Edson is a candomblé practitioner. He makes his living as an Uber driver, catering specially to people who feel oppressed because of their faith.
I know how my passengers feel because I've been there. I've had Uber riders cancel the ride when they saw me dressed in my ceremonial clothes. In the bus, people make you uncomfortable by inching away from you.
He drives fellow candomblé faithful to their ceremonies and shows them sanctuaries like this park where they can feel safe.
You see, they even have to go to a park. They have to take specific Ubers to avoid persecution when they take buses, when they take public transportation. That's how bad it is. There's something seriously flawed with evangelical Christianity. something super wrong with it. I'm sorry if you grew up evangelical or if you're a part of evangelicals, but it's something that has to be said, because everywhere in the world where you see evangelical doing its thing, there is somebody either being oppressed or something bad being happening to other people. But let's continue.
Until recently, it was common to find offerings to spiritual entities of the Afro-Brazilian religions like this one on the crossroads or on beaches of Rio de Janeiro and other urban cities. This one has food and it has perfume and candles. But every time more, the followers of these religions are going to secluded places like this forest because they're afraid they'll be persecuted or that their offerings will be destroyed.
Yeah, so basically that was the video. They had to go to even the forest to practice their own religion. But now let's look real quick, just like 5 minutes of this, to see how evangelicals are growing in Brazil and how they get to recruit people in the favelas and everything. Oh man, it's so disappointing seeing what Christianity, how people interpret it different ways to harm other people, because Brazil has a lot of Afro-Brazilians and they cannot even practice their religion. This is specifically in Rio. They cannot practice it in the open without persecution. Like these things, you could only expect to hear them the days of the Crusades, but this is 2025 and you're hearing it. Let's watch this video, and as usual, please like, subscribe, and there you have it. It's all about money. It comes down to money, but the gullible supporters do not know that. It's the same in America. Evangelical Christians, you see all these televangelists, I've covered so many of them, like I can't even name all of them. There is a video, I think I might link it at the end. It's a playlist actually. It has like 8 or 10 videos of all these televangelists doing their scamming ways. And this, I hear, is one of the biggest scamming televangelists in Brazil, who supported Bolsonaro. And you already know what type of person he is. If you know anything about me, I despise people like this. People who use religion to benefit, make themselves wealthy when they are destroying the lives of other people. But let's poorest places, and they recruit people by people who have been abandoned by their governments and everything. They give them food, they give them all these things, and then they give them hope. And if you give a human hope, they will do almost anything. They give them hope, and then they got them hook, line, sinker. They got them. Once you show them a little love when they've been abandoned, rejected throughout, guess what they're going to do? They're going to come with you wherever you say. It's the same thing in America. For example, in America, you look at most of these poorest states, people who live in poverty. There's a lot of religion, evangelical religion, that takes place. If you look at, I'm African, so I can talk about it. If you look at Africa, the most poorest countries, there is a lot of religion, because that is what I am a Christian. I know when I speak in this video, I sound like I'm not a Christian or I'm a non-believer, I'm an atheist or whatever. I'm a Christian, but I'm a Christian who was given a brain by God, and I decide to use my brain. So when I see something ridiculous like this, I'm able to discern, I'm able to use my brain and say this is wrong, and this is a wrong type of Christianity. But these people are given hope. It is not out of man, it's sad, man. It's sad. Sides are playing the game. That's why I say if a politician is telling you how to pray, just get out of there. Don't believe them. Run out of there. If a preacher is telling you how to vote, get out of there. Get out of there, because you see they are in agreement here. The televangelist, the idiot that you saw first in this video, talking about, nobody is hypnotized to give them money. He is one of the richest televangelists, and he gets into people's feelings. If you can trick someone, get into their emotions, they can do almost anything. They'll give you the shirt off their back. And then you get these politicians who know, like, hey, if I use religion, I can get them to support me and vote for me. But at the same time, they're doing evil stuff because politicians are in it for themselves. But let's continue. This woman has it dead to rights. Like she has it. She understands it. This idiot just say he has a prophetic voice. He prophesies he's going to get money from you. Yeah, that one he can prophesy, but he's a complete imbecile. I do not have respect for idiots like this. And like I said, if you believe in prophets in the year 2025, you're going to have a rude awakening once they clean your wallet. Once they've taken all your money, that's when you might wake up and see the reality of these scammers. So it's quite annoying, but let's watch like 2 minutes of this. It's getting a long video, but let's watch 2 minutes. If you're still here, I appreciate you watching up to this point. Like, subscribe, motherfucker, because you are imposing your will on others. The same way if they started imposing their will on you, forcing you to do what they want to do, you will be complaining and crying. So why are you forcing them to do what you want? Like, it's a very simple logic. You do your thing and let others do their thing. That's it. It's a very easy concept that many people do not understand. Do not understand. Like, it's so stupid, man. Like, man, that's basically the video. I feel so bad for her because she was desperate. She needed somewhere to fit in. And unfortunately for her, she just found herself in another sunken place by going to an evangelical church that they're asking for your credit card after the end of the service. It is just sad, man. It is sad. I'm sorry for these people. I don't know what's wrong with evangelicals, or evangelicals like I call them. But if you like this video and you're still here up to this point, please like, subscribe, and share this on all the networks. I'll see ya.
Oh my goodness, all the networks! Wow! All the networks!